yes, I am indeed a PhD student doing a practice-based PhD looking at solo stand-up performers from the north. Essentially, I'm doing a PhD in me. Sometimes people say, you know, does it not suck all the joy out of comedy to analyse it? And I'm like, you know, why would it suck all the joy out of a joke when you're looking to see whether it actually does subvert the hegemonic discourses of society? Not at all. So I've taken this quite literally. It's a performance autoethnography. Essentially, I am my own text. And I have actual footnotes in here. It's quite good that I'm a size 8 foot. It's big footnotes. So, yeah, following Joanne Gilbert, I'm seeing myself and many of the northern stand-up comics and poets I have interviewed as performing marginality. Humour is strongly connected to marginality. Power can be played with in complicated ways. Humour can subvert hegemonic discourse by reversing it, co-opting it or parodying it. It creates, as Gilbert says, in-group, out-group distinctions and group solidarity. I know for a lot of couples, of course, who don't have children, either by choice or not by choice, then their pet might be a child substitute. But to be honest, if you were laughing in a really knowing way, do you have a pet who is a child to you, Ben? No.
Not quite. Got a pet.
But it's not like a child.
I hope not.
No, the key is, I suppose, whether you and a partner maybe refer to each other as it's mummy or daddy. Linda does though. See, yes.
Well, you see, I have, and I've got a dog that I refer to myself as its mother. What does that make me?
Well, evenly balanced across all areas of your life. Yes. Whereas I'm not. We've got the Northern Powerhouse now, even though that sounds like an 80s disco. And it does mean there's something to fight against more, actually, because you can hear it in the way that people are protesting about things like, for example, the National Media Museum at Bradford having to give 400,000 of its photographs to the V&A in London to make them Exactly, Alison. Booing. It's not right, is it? Londoners have got enough. Bradford's only got Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Vicar, and Gareth Gates, both of whom are notorious for their very long sentences. So I think we should have talked tougher about this, much tougher. We should have said, OK, you can have our 400,000 photos if in return we get to take at random 400,000 photos from the hard drives of Conservative cabinet ministers. I kind of struggle with how I talk about and present gender. And I've kind of been able to realise why in some ways. I'm sometimes striving to talk from a kind of neutral place, which is really hard to do when I'm not gendered. And I went with it more recently when I did a show about not wanting to be a mother. And I think I was placing myself somewhere in relation to a particular normative view of womanhood, but saying, I'm not that. And it did give me something to talk about in a way I hadn't previously. So I'm going to do a little bit of the stuff about not wanting children now, because I start off in the show talking about how my urge to not have children, I think, to be honest, came from my mum, who was what I would call a paedophobe. I'm surprised the word's not been invented before, but don't get me wrong, she didn't dislike all children, just her own. It's not that long ago that Marie Stopes opened family planning clinics to get working women off the endless treadmill of childbirth. Ironically, many women now use that increased leisure time to go on an actual treadmill. But it's thanks to Marie Stopes that my 20s didn't have to be a sexless desert. My 20s were a sexless desert, but that wasn't Marie Stopes' fault.